lot of Scrum teams that start me out and they say, well, we want to be level 2, we want to have an appraisal, but we don't really use process. We don't like process around here. So really, you don't use process? I mean, these are all processes, right? These are all techniques or methods, right? And every one of these things has a CMMI equivalent that we use to make it better. So, for instance, in the CMMI, we have a practice called identify and involve relevant stakeholders for the estimating process. It sounds very academic and very dry, but if we reword it in sort of Agile language, what dudes need to be there to play planning poker? Same exact practice. Figuring out who those right people are, and then we have a process that says the right people need to show up to play planning poker. We just use the CMMI to make planning poker better. And that's one of the practices, right? That's what it is. That's how it works, right? Same with refactoring, right? There's a practice that says reconcile the work based on the current need, reconcile what goes on. Well, there's all kinds of stuff. What does reconciling mean? Bring in the right stakeholder, bring in the right people.
So, again, I don't know CMMI very well at all. So when you say you use CMMI to make planning poker better, the CMMI kind of state these are the people you need to do certain specific. So how does it make it better then?
There's 12 characteristics of a process, let's call them that. 12 things that need to be right. One of them is that we need to figure out who the right people are and make sure they're there. Another one is that people need to be trained on how to use that. So maybe a more obvious example is that we have teams playing planning poker, but we've never really given them good training on how to make it work. So we look at the CMMI, oh, we haven't trained in GP 2.5, so we conduct a training class because we're using the CMMI as our guide. That's a pretty obvious one. But there's others that aren't as obvious. So the way we would do it is say, hey, we're already using planning poker, we're not really getting the results we want from it, it's not that accurate. Why isn't it? Well, let's look at these 12 things. Oh, the right stakeholders aren't showing up. That's one problem we're having. Well, let's fix that. People aren't trained. That's another problem. Let's fix that. It's almost like a checklist of, these are all the things about planning poker that we didn't really think about when we implemented it. We just threw a pack of cards at you and said, go play, read an article. And then maybe that's okay, right? But we might get better results if we go through these 12 attributes. They're called the generic practices. That's how we would use the CMMI sort of as a checklist to make the process better. That's what I mean. Does that make sense?